All right, guys. Happy Monday and welcome to our Monday Health Huddle. My name is Brad Miller, and I get to be one of the hosts of this call, so it's my pleasure to be here. I'm a certified health coach. If you're new, we want to welcome you. This is part of our community, part of our program that we do. There's tons of these things to plug into, social media, online, in person, and we find that support is one of the biggest things for our plan, and we are in the middle of a series. I'll get back to that here in a second, but this is week number 3 of it. We're kind of focusing on goals in a season where July is usually like, oh my gosh, life is happening to me in all different ways, shapes and forms, and traveling and kids home or whatever the case may be. Weather happened to be 110 degrees where I'm at today. So sometimes things get changed up. So we are learning how to just kind of learn to make habits and go through different seasons and kind of learning a bunch of about fueling. I'll get back to that here in a second. But before we pop in here, who wants to share some victories from this last week? Go ahead and unmute yourself and anything, scale, non-scale, anything you thought was awesome, anything you think would motivate other people or was just flat out cool to you and you want us to clap for you. That's what we're here for. So you can either type it in the chat or who wants to come off mute and share something from this last week.
I'll share something, Brad.
Yeah, go for it, Dawn.
So back in the day when I used to travel to conventions and conferences and things for nursing, I used to come back and my clothes didn't fit. My clothes didn't fit because they were too tight. So as all of you know, the health coaches in this group have been in Austin, Texas, learning how to become even better health coaches and serve you. And today on the plane, it was literally embarrassing because my clothes don't fit. My pants are falling off. Because just being so active and healthy and having fun and eating right and dancing up a storm while gone, it's amazing what can happen in just a few days.
I love that, Dawn. That's a really good win from traveling. Who else has a win that they want to share this week before we hop into the topic tonight?
I'll go.
All right, who is it? Go for it.
It's Kim.
Hey, Kim.
I've been traveling for a month, back and forth from home. And even with all that travel, which like Dawn, I was a little scared of, I lost 5 pounds and stayed on plan. So I was really excited about that. I went to convention. It was very fun. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, traveling all over the place. You seem to have a lot of wins. So thanks for being one of the voices that encourages everyone. And I'm going to share one today for myself just because I thought it was cool. I have a client, a few clients that have just been really cool. One that talked to me a few months ago about just like, I want it to be mindless for me to start making healthy decisions. It seems like such a huge deal for me to do that. One, they are having those wins, so it's cool for me to see that. But it was really cool to think about that for me, that over these last 7 years I've created health, but like I've been traveling too. And it's like, you're not perfect. Life is not perfect, but kind of cool to see that the habits are in there and that your mind starts to naturally start thinking about those things, drinking your water, being active, even if you're not doing perfect on it, that you're actually craving it, wanting it, and thinking about it and not obsessing about it. So I actually give props to Susie Henshaw. She's recently been crushing workouts, and she's just like, the fact that I want to do it and it's like exciting for me is a habit that I'm building. And I can't believe I'm finally excited to say I want to work out. So whatever your victory is this week, congratulations. So with that being said, let's hop into the topic because I don't want to keep you guys here all night. This is just meant to kick off the week together because just like anything, we have to focus on what we want to create in our lives. So on week number 3, we thought it'd be fun to just kind of do a series through the month of July. And just kind of understanding fueling in our body and how that all works. And last week, if you were with us, we nerded out on a lot of nerdy information about how our body works and why we do the things that we do. Why do we crave things? Or how does our body work? And what are all these different things going on in our body? Like you didn't even probably know that your stomach takes 10 minutes to tell your brain that it's full and just different things like that you didn't even know that was going on. So we covered that. So now that we know a lot about what our body does and how it does it and a little bit more to like why it does the things and how it works and operates, we're going to give you guys some life hacks on living a healthy lifestyle. So as you guys all know, we started the first part of this by just realizing that we're not on a diet. Now hold on here, I have to mute somebody real quick. All right, I think we're good now. But just realizing we're not on a diet. We're learning to fuel 6 times a day. We're learning to be conscious of our health, and this is going to encompass all different levels. So that was the first thing we learned. We learned a lot about how our body and fueling for goals. And this week, we're going to cover, like I said, tips about how to fuel and how to kind of revolve our life and make habits and different things that people have done. If you look around this room collectively, this could be a TV show of people that have massively changed their health. And I hope you guys realize in the gravity of and I don't mean to make a really corny pun there, but the gravity of looking around this call and realizing how many people have transformed not only physically, but mentally, and the habits that have been formed, and there's the different things that have gone in their life. But it gets easier and easier, and we all are learning from each other. So I thought we'd have a call now that we know how our body works, and now that we know that, and maybe some of us are newer here, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm literally not doing a diet anymore. I don't know what to tell people I'm doing. Some tips that'll help you just carry this on, maybe in the weight loss phase. Maybe you guys are out of the weight loss phase. It doesn't matter, just things that we've learned to really make health easy for us. So with that being said, I'm going to bring on one of our resident rock stars, and that is Lori Dufresne. She's going to share some of her tips and life hacks on just continuing to have a healthy lifestyle, as well as some other things we'll cover tonight. So Lori, are you there?
I am. Thanks, Brad. I love this topic. I just absolutely love it because, 3 years ago, or I guess it's 3.5 years ago now, before I got started on program, I think I used to just like reserve all of my calories for like one big meal and then a bunch of junk throughout the day. And so what I love so much about this program, I think why it's been so successful in my life, is because I get to eat every 3 hours. And that's something that I've done beyond my weight loss. And that's where my optimal lifestyle comes from now. So it's as simple as that, you guys. Like seriously, this is the simplest program that I have ever found in my life. And because we just need to eat every 3 hours. If you guys can do that and drink your water and measure out your lean and green, you are going to have great success on this program. I always like to start with your attitude and ask yourself, you know what, how bad do I want this? Really think about that. And are you saying this is hard, or are you saying this is super easy? Because if you can take and push the easy button, this is going to so fit into your lifestyle. So with that said, like, just keep it simple and keep it easy. I like to say get prepared and organized. If you are organizing your day, you're going to have great success. There's nothing worse than waking up late, running out the door, and thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot my food. I didn't have time to pack. But if this is really important to you guys, which I know it is, or you guys wouldn't be on this call tonight, get prepared. So you've got a couple options. You could do it in the evening before going to bed. I recommend getting like a big cooler bag, and I'm not at my home right now. I'm still in Texas. But so I had this big cooler bag that had a strap on it. It almost looked like a purse. And I filled up all of my water bottles. So I had like 3 of these that I would fill up in the morning or the night before. I put them in my bag, ready to go. I've got all of my water for the day, right? And then I would also do a little Ziploc bag like this. And I would put at least 5, sometimes even 7 meal replacements, because I want to make sure that I don't get stuck somewhere. If I'm running late on my lean and green, at least I actually have an extra fueling with me. And just feel like, put in here whatever you feel like doing for the day, whatever you feel like. Things that are going to be convenient. If you're going to be in meetings for work and you're not going to have time to go to the lunchroom, then you can just have like bars extra for the day. Another thing I love to do, if you decide that you want to do your preparation in the morning, wake up 10 minutes early. It literally does not take more than probably 5, but just give yourself some more time. And my husband and I too, my husband's a contractor and he had no access to a microwave. So we would prepare all of our hearty choices and soups in the morning. Totally cook them 100% through in the microwave and then put them in a thermos. Now, thermos this size you could get anywhere, Walmart, anywhere. And you could actually fit 2 meal replacements in this. We would get creative and we would mix some of the meal replacements together too. So it kind of gives you like switch it up. You can mix a bunch of the different hearty choices together and make it really yummy. But guess what? If you get stuck and you're just at your desk and you can't even get up, you've got your cooler bag sitting right next to you at work. All you need to do is take off the top, put your spoon in there and eat it. So no excuses for not having that. Another really successful tip that's going to help you guys stay on track is set a timer on your phone. So what you'll do is just, you guys are probably going to get into a rhythm where you kind of wake up around the same time every day. Just set your timer to go off every 3 hours. This is going to save your life because we all know when we're in fat burn, we kind of lose that hunger, like you're not as hungry very often, and people forget. The key to success with this is continuously fueling your body every 3 hours. So you guys, it's just as important as getting the food in. It's more important doing it in the right timing. So you're constantly supplying that fuel to your body and keep that fat burning. So those are just a couple tips. Oh, one more thing too, prepare yourself for busy lifestyle. life is never going to be unbusy. So the more that you can prepare yourself to just be ready that you're going to get stuck in traffic, get ready that you're going to possibly leave the house without food sometimes. I always stock my car, my purse, and your desk at work. Have bars. I mean, I work from home as a health coach, but even though my food is right in the kitchen, sometimes I get, on a meeting, I have my desk drawer filled with like 3 or 4 bars constantly at all times. So that way I can just open it and eat it. Super easy. Definitely stock your car with things that aren't going to melt, like the pretzels, the cereal, things like that are great to keep on hand as well. Let's see if there's anything else I forgot. I think that pretty much covers it, Brad. I hope those tips are helpful for you guys.
They are super helpful. And here's another good reminder is that it's all about the basics. I'm just loving the reminder of all those tips. I love the bag idea. I need to actually get a thermos. And here's just another few I thought I would throw in here is blender bottles. Stock up and get a ton of them. Like I have a whole drawer of them, and I can't tell you how many times those save me as I walk out the door when I'm trying to make a meal. I'm like, oh, I totally had time for breakfast, but I didn't. And I want to do something besides a bar. So blender bottles are huge. I actually also like to get a big pack of water bottles, put them in the back of my car because you can never know when you're going to run out of water. That's great to have there. And yes, just like Lori, like my car is stocked with all of these things. So those are just some of my tips that I have as well. Just, and we'd love to know your tips. If you have tips too, put them in the chat. So just all these different things to keep you prepared, because I don't know anyone that has extra time on their hands, and we're all looking for, staying on point with fueling. And because of last week, we know how important it is with our blood sugar levels and what it does to our body. So Lori, great tips. I love them. And we're actually going to move over to Dawn and her partner in crime. But she's going to share some tips on just keeping lean and greens fresh. So we've learned about how to keep us set up for success, to manage everyday life, to keep us, those life hacks that keep us on track. Dawn's going to give us some tips on where we can keep our ideas fresh on plan, and just some different tips on lean and greens and just fueling healthy that she's come up with. So Dawn, are you there that you can share?
I am, Brad. Hopefully you can hear me okay. One of those things you take your computer like all across the country, gets knocked around a little, but yeah, I'm loving all the tips that Lori shared, and I wanted to pop on today and bring on Christina, who is like in our client support page. She is really like the recipe guru for lean and greens, and but first, we wanted to show you some of the tools that we actually have, because right, we want to keep it fresh, we want to keep it fun, and nobody wants to eat the same thing over and over again. And so I am just going to have Christina share a little bit about what she does, because this girl is constantly sharing fun lean and greens, utilizing our nutrition support and coming up and having them kind of give their blessing and give us back some really great lean and greens and posting them in the client support pages. So we all have client support pages, and I'm going to have Christina share a little bit, and then I'm going to actually screen share and show you how to find the recipes in your client support page, show you the expanded condiment list, and just a few things. And there's some fun Pinterest pages out there too. So Christina, my dear, all the way down from San Diego, will you pop on and share just a little bit about how now you've lost almost 90 pounds. You've kept it off for over a year now. You have 2 young boys, a very active husband, and your mom lives with you, and you are able to cook lean and greens. Your whole family is getting healthy, and you've been optimizing your health for over a year now. So share some of your tips with us.
So thank you for having me. One of my favorite things in doing this program has been how much fun I get to have in the kitchen and kind of experimenting with new recipes. And so I started with the recipes in our client support page and made most, if not all of them, and kind of went, okay, let's keep going. How can I do this myself? And so there are lots of resources out there, especially with Pinterest being there. I would find a recipe, people are sharing on Facebook, those, different websites that are doing those cooking videos now. And I find a recipe that I'm like, you know what? I think that might work, or something that my family might love, or that looks really tasty. The first thing I do is I get the recipe written out and I send it off to nutrition support, and they are amazing. 24 to 48 hours later, I have a return email that says, okay, great. Here are the changes you need to make to keep it 5-in-1 compliant, or, to work for you, for me to be able to share in the client support page. That's one of my most favorite things to do, is kind of look there. As far as cooking for a family and people who all have different tastes I do a lot of big batches of things, and I will freeze them so that if, my family wants to eat something that maybe isn't in my game plan, or vice versa, because I really enjoy a good cauliflower pizza or taco bake. If I want to have that night, I have it in my freezer already for me. So nutrition support is amazing. Utilize them. If you have a recipe that's even remotely close to something that you think may or may not be healthy, if it's a flavor profile that you like, they are amazing with making changes to your recipes as needed. I mean, one thing, Dawn, you're right. Over a year and a half ago, I completed the weight loss phase of my journey, but it didn't stop there for me. Lori even said, I still eat every 3 hours, and we're getting ready to go on vacation. And, one of the things is I'm flying from San Diego to New Jersey. We'll be there for 2 weeks. I'll be staying in 2 different locations. How do you prepare for that? So I shipped a small order, enough for 2 weeks for me, of my fuelings from our amazing company, had them delivered to my mother-in-law's. I ordered online some cauliflower pizza crusts that work for me in my lifestyle. Nice, vacation doesn't have to mean that just because I'm not on 5-in-1 doesn't mean I'm going to go completely insane with the food. I know how I feel when I'm living my optimal life and I am fueling my body properly. And I don't want that to stop just because I'm going on vacation. And there's a lot of really good, easy things like cauliflower pizza. You can toss the freezers in the crust in the freezer, and you have a quick lean and green, no matter what anybody else is eating.
I love that, Christina. I also will waffle things up. I know there's a few of us on here that like to waffle. I don't know if Gina's on tonight, but she kind of coined that. But I like to waffle things and freeze them too, and then just throw them in plastic baggies and take them with me. So
I haven't tried it yet, but I heard that the cauliflower pizza crust is amazing in the waffle iron, and it's a time saver. So that's on my list of things to try.
I love that. And you know what I love, you guys, too, is that we are such a collective group here. What we find that works, we're so happy to share it and just spread the knowledge and the time-saving tips, because I don't know any of us who would like to have a little more time back in our day. So, Christina, thank you for sharing that. I love that you're being so prepared, with vacationing, and then also just intentional in prepping yourself. Making big batches of things and then tweaking it along the way is also what we do. We'll make a big batch of meat or something a couple times a week, and then we just alter it a little bit every night so that we've got something a little bit different, and then freeze any leftovers in small, like 1 or 2 portion size bags so we can pull them back out later and use them. So you guys, I'm going to screen share really quick. I want to show you just an example of a client support page. This happens to be ours. It's Supporting Your Health 247, and Brad has one, and there's lots of different client support pages, but they're all set up the same in that our lean and green photo albums are up here under photos at the top. So I hope you guys can see my little cursor here. But when you go to your client support page, you go to the top and you go to photos. Okay. And then you go to albums, and you're going to scroll down till you see the lean and green album. So in ours, that lean and green album is just full of a lot of different recipes, and we're constantly adding to them as we go. There's so many, it takes a little bit of time to load, but like all of these recipes, you guys, are at your fingertips. So not only is there something like this in your client support page, but you can also be someone who, if you can add to it, if you are checking them with client support and nutrition support. Wanted to just go over how to contact nutrition support. If you've got your quick start guide, right here in the very back of it, there's a whole page. And not only does it have nutrition support's email, which is pretty simple, it's nutritionsupport@tsfl.com, but it also has our support calls and habits of health calls and things like that. So feel free to contact them, not just about recipes, but a lot of different questions and things like that as well. And then there's also, Brad's going to be talking in just a minute about some really cool things. There's Pinterest boards out there. And for the Optavia line that's just coming out, there's some amazing Pinterest boards that have just meal makeovers and things that you can do to add to your meals. So you guys don't hesitate to use the condiment list, be a little creative, and we'll all share different ways to make things that really just keep it fresh, keep it fun, because bottom line is, if you're excited about it, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do, a whole lot easier to reach our goals if we're keeping it, really exciting and really fun. Okay. And also reach out to your health coach. Like if you have questions on how to make something better or how to just, what your flavor profile is, reach out because we've got tons of ideas. So Brad, I'll pass it back over to you, but hopefully those are some helpful tips for lean and greens and just meal makeovers.
I think there's some great tips. I love all the reminder, and I need to get set up. I need to make some cauliflower crust. I just love all the reminders, again, the basics of this. And what I would probably recommend here is like, now you know all these different ideas, whatever plan you're on, you can prepare ahead of time. And I love all those tips. And this is what we do in our household. On a Sunday, we make sure that's our shopping day, and we prepare our meals and kind of our meal plan ahead for the week. So it doesn't matter if you're on 3 and 3 or 4 and 2 or whatever style you're fueling for a goal you're doing. That is a great habit to instill. I mean, Sunday works for us. What day works for you? That's a great day to check out, what happens here. And then actually Monday's my catch-all day. If I miss Sunday, better believe I get it done on Monday. So, and then I have to just say exactly what Don said. Keep it fresh, because literally you're not meant to be like dieting on this plan. We're learning how to fuel our bodies for life, and fueling our bodies for life should taste good. So if you aren't getting fresh and having fun with your lean and greens, please check out all those guys. There's a reason why we have those recipe boards and people can add to them, is because the opportunities for like really good, healthy food for our bodies that fuel our bodies, like we talked about in the first week and second week, is endless. So as a wrap up here today, we do have an excitement, but we're talking about just things that help us be successful on our eating plan. So I just want to cover just a couple other tips with you as we go through today. And number one was journaling. And I'm just going to go over it real quick because I'm not going to show the two things. Whether you're an app person or an paper person, we have both with our program. So if you look in your quick start guide, there is a journal that you can actually make multiple copies of if you're on the 501 plan. If you're on a 3 and 3 or 4 and 2, make your own journal and make copies of it. That's actually something I've been kind of committing this month to, is going back to the basics. I've been journaling my days, and I'm just on a 3 and 3 plan, on my fueling. And it feels so good to have a plan and to be kind of just checking off the boxes. So that's something you like doing or you have yet to do it yet, try it. I bet you will love it. It's always good just to kind of get a good sense of the basics. So journaling. And then one thing I wanted to cover tonight, because people ask us all the time, and just because I am my father's son, as we wrap up today, I'm going to do a quick corny joke because that's where I come from. That's my family. There's two lumberjacks, and they're used to using axes. And then someone gives them both a chainsaw. They come back at the end of the day and one says, I cut down 100 trees. And the other guy goes, oh, man, I only cut down 2. And the lumberjack says, the guy that cut down 100 trees said, well, are you using your tool right? Did you use what they gave us? And he said, yeah. And they go up back, and he's like, well, let me see what's going on with it. And he starts it right up. And the lumberjack that only cut down 2 trees says, what's that noise? I don't know if everyone gets that, but basically he was trying to chop it down without turning it on. So I wanted to make that corny joke. And again, yes, blame my dad if you see him. You should know him for that joke, because that is the Be Slim account. I just want to cover what this is, because many people think this is just your order. And I want to explain how this tool is just as big a part of your community as everything else. One, it allows you to get savings. But two, just like all those meal prep ideas, this is how I utilize this tool to make sure I'm gaining success. Is one, when you have this as an active account, you get free shipping and 5 to 10% off of your orders monthly. So you're saving money. 2, this is a reminder. My fueling is so simple because I always have healthy meals in our house. We use a cool service called, I just went blank on it, but basically they send us a few meals, like lean and green style meals once a week. It's called Sunbasket. I just remember the name. And we also have this in our house. We use our Be Slim Club. So we always have healthy meal replacements with vitamins and minerals always coming to our house. So I don't have to worry about going to make conscious decisions because my meals come to me every single month. And I also get to utilize this as a tool. If I have a lot of meals left over by the end of the month, do you know what that tells me? It tells me that I probably wasn't eating very on point with my meals because I order enough every single month to eat on a 3 and 3 style plan and to save my butt to make sure I'm making conscious decisions. So it's kind of like a second, third, and fourth backwards check to make sure that you're living a healthy lifestyle, because it's all good to say, oh, I know I can do that, or I know I can, but we all have great intention. This is pushing the easy button on getting healthy, easy, like cost-effective meals of the highest quality into your house. So these are my recommendations on it. You can do whichever you want because you guys know how to utilize this, but I would make sure you have enough meals every single month to sustain the plan that you're on. It's just another way to inspect what you expect. I know you can move your Be Slim Club, But again, using a tool correctly, I would recommend never moving the date unless you're ordering more like Christina's going on a trip, because that should be your monthly cycle date. So you can kind of like just throw another easy structure piece in there that's going to help you bring the meals on point. Mine come on the first of every single month and have and will always been that way for the last 6 years. So that would be my recommendations. Again, these are suggestions. You don't have to use it, but I hope you understand that the best of the best, people like Dawn that have lost their weight and maintained it and even had a baby and gotten back to their optimal weight, these are how they use these tools. People ask us all the time, how are you able to live this healthy lifestyle? Well, we're telling you right now, these are the tips. And if I learned one thing in my life but with my stubborn ways, is that if I want to be successful in being healthy, I want to do what the successful people are doing. And that role plays the same way in every part of our life. So those are just some tips today on the actual day-to-day stuff. I hope you got some really good inspiration. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Christina, on all those really cool tips and everyone who typed in the chat. And the last thing I wanted to leave you guys with is to kind of announce something that's been really cool that God unleashed to us. We're working these last few weeks to really just explain all the different nuances of creating a healthy lifestyle. And today we get to announce the unveiling of our new line of 5-in-1 and healthy meal replacement products. And it's called the OptaVia line, which just like living optimal health, we're talking about actually living a healthy life, not just dieting. That's what OptaVia means. It means the optimal healthy way and the way of living. So check out these new ones. They're available. They are a premium line. They have chosen the best ingredients from all over the world, sustainable, natural, basically the best things that you can do. And they are supported on the 5-in-1 plan. So here are some of the meals right here. All the way down to sustainable packaging that is recyclable and just good for the environment. Everything is truly incredible. So in our commitment to always provide the best products on the best weight loss and optimal health plan, this is what they unleashed today, and I'm really excited for it. So the pricing is still great. It's a little bit more because it's the premium line, but it still breaks down to a meal to hit one of your fuelings for less than $3 a meal that comes to your house once a month when you're on the Be Slim Club plan. So here's just a couple of things in the top right-hand corner. As always, certified gluten-free. You have to check the meals for exact sources. No artificial anything. All of your vitamins and minerals. No GMO. Good source of fiber. And they're always, always high in protein and all the nutrition you need. So check them out. They're they're incredible. And they're also free of any artificial sweeteners, anything like that. So they are the next step in the quality that we always have been providing for the last 30 years plus. So I'm really excited for you guys to try it. This has been really exciting for us. I've got to try these over the last few months and I've been keeping it a secret. They are incredible. So feel free to add them into your next orders and try them out. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. Nope, I went ahead on last week's slide. So these are hopefully a good way to mix in some of the tips that we have here. So happy fueling. I hope all these tips have helped you kind of learn some different things you can do for your plan. And as always, they're all habits. That's what we're building here. So let me stop my share real quick and wish you guys all a happy week. I'll stick on, I'm going to end the recording, but I'll stick on and just answer a few of the questions that I see here in the chat. With that being said, just like we do every single Monday, take a few seconds, make sure your week's on track, look at what you're celebrating and what you're doing well this week. And as always, another habit is always celebrate what you're doing well. With that being said, have a great week. Thank you everyone who shared, and look forward to our final call in this series next week. We'll always continue to do our Monday Health Huddle, but next week will be our culmination of this series that we're doing on understanding healthy eating and building that habit. So have a great week, everybody, and have fun practicing all the great things that you guys learned tonight. Bye.